Hey everyone, so I've always told you that we're going to talk about the geometry managers whenever we used pack. So that's what we're going to do today in this video. We will talk about pack, grid and place. Since you have already used pack in some of the last videos, let's start with the pack widget. So from Tkinter, I'll import star, then I'll get my window, I'll write win equals Tk. I'll also give in a title, so I'll write win.title and let the title be geometry managers. Okay, then I'll get the widgets. So for the widgets I'll get some frames and I'll pack those frames. So I'll have my frame 1 equals frame. For the master I'll give window win, then let the width be 200 and height be 100, and let's have the background color to be orange. Okay, now I'll pack this frame. I'll write frame1.pack. So I'll fill this for both the axes. I'll write fill equals both and side equals left, expand equals true. So this fill and expand is for making the frame responsive. As you increase the screen size, the frame will expand in both the directions, and the side is to place it on left. Cool. So let's have another frame. Write frame 2 equals frame win. Let the width be 100. Background color, let it be purple. And I'll pack this. And I'll give in the same arguments as above. I'll write fill equals both, side equals left, expand, true. Okay, then I'll call in the main loop. I'll write win dot main loop. So let's run this and see how the pack works, see how the frame works. Okay, so I have this screen, and as I expand it on either side, if I expand it along x-axis, I can see the frames increasing. So you can see the two colors, purple and orange. So that's the rectangular area a frame makes. And the packing starts from the left side because we have specified side to be left. Okay. And you can see as I expand the screen, the frame size also increases. Cool. So if I want to talk about the place geometry manager, it is used to control the precise location of a widget, the location it should take up on the window or the frame. Okay, so we can give in the coordinates. It takes up two arguments, x and y. So that's the top left corner coordinate of that widget. Okay, so let me write something for it so that you can understand it better. I already have Tkinter imported and my window. I also have a title for my window. I'll just get another frame to get my button on it, or rather I'll get two buttons. So let me have the frame. I'll write frame equals frame win, and let the width be 150 and height be 150. Frame dot pack. Okay, and I'll have my button 1. So button 1 equals button, and I'll get this button on the frame. So I'll give in the master to be frame. Let the text be button at 10,20. And let the background color be pink. Then I will place the button, not use pack, but I'll place it, and I'll give in the coordinates x equals 10, y equals 20. So I'll get this button at 10,20 coordinate. The top left corner coordinate of this button would be at 10, 20. Then I'll get another button, button 2 equals button frame. Let the text be button at 40, 50, and the background color, let it be yellow. Then I'll place this button again at 40, 50. So x equals 40, y equals 50. And then I'll call in the main loop. We'll check this if this works fine and we get the buttons at the defined coordinates. Now when I run this, I have these two buttons at the coordinates. So this top left corner is at coordinate 10, 20, and this yellow one is at 40, 50. So that's the coordinates, and the buttons are at the specified coordinates. So the screen should be seen as a coordinate plane, and the buttons are at the specified coordinates. Cool. So that's how place works. Now let's talk about grid. Grid has all the parameters of pack, plus it is efficient than place, as place needs specific coordinates. Grid just splits or makes parts of the screen according to the matrix given. You'll understand this better if I give you an example. So I already have Tkinter imported and I'll just comment this part. First of all, if you're talking about grid, you need to make that grid. So we'll make it just like we make a matrix. I'll have two for loops and I'm gonna make a grid of 3 by 3. So I'll write for I in range 3, for j in range 3, frame equals frame, master is win, and let me give in a border type. So relief equals sunken. That's about my frame. So for each block or each matrix element, I'll get a frame. Okay. Now I'll use grid for the frame. I'll write frame.grid. So you can see what all arguments we can give for grid. We can give the row, which is I, then column, which is equal to j. We'll give in some extra padding along x and y axis both. So let it be 5. That'll look good. Then I'll get some buttons on these frames. So I'll write button equals button. And since I want this button on the frame, so I'll give in master equals frame. For text, I'll give in the matrix elements index. So I and j, I hope you know this format. This is general Python. Then we'll get to packing this button. I'll just use pack for this, not grid or place. I'll simply pack this button. So I'll write button.pack. I'll give some padding, pad x equals 5, pad y equals 5. So that there is space between each element of the matrix, and also there is space between the text and the button. And then I'll call in the main loop. I'll write win.main loop. As you had expand and fill in pack, you have column configure and row configure in grid. I want the buttons to increase in size just as the screen size increases. So I'll write win.column configure. So you can see what all arguments it requires. So first is the index. So of course index is the row or column number. Then you have min size, which will given the minimum size of the row height and column width in pixels. Okay. And then you have weight. Okay, so weight is the rate with which the size of the button or size of the specified widget would increase. With what rate? So I'll give it to be 1. I want all the grid elements to increase with the same rate as I increase the screen size. Okay, and I'll give in the min size for column configure to be 75. Then I'll also have row configure. So I'll give in the index I and weight equals 1. And the minimum size, let it be 50. So we're good to go. Let's run this and let's see how grid works. So you can see that the screen size is not little, there's a proper grid because we have already specified the minimum size using column configure and row configure. There is a specific size of the screen because there is a minimum size of the buttons. And when I resize the screen, they grow in size automatically. The button size doesn't grow, but they are rearranged on the entire screen properly. So that's it for grid. That's it for the geometry managers. I hope you understood everything, the place, pack and grid widgets. They are going to be of great help in the upcoming videos. So you really need to get a grasp of what was going on throughout this video. Thank you.